It's Points North with High Wire. I'm Chris the Progtologist, Progtology 101 on 103.3 FM or kscu.org, streaming live for your pleasure. I'm graced with the presence of Uriah Duffy and Eric Barnett from the aforementioned Points North. So there's a video for that tune, right, guys?
There is, and and it's doing really well too, or at least seems to be doing pretty well. So we're really psyched about that. One of the interesting things about the video is, obviously we did the video after Uriah had joined the band, and so rather than kind of putting out the video in its form, if you go and you listen to the video, you'll notice there's a different bass track, which is actually Uriah playing, on the song, and we re-recorded it and remixed it, and so that's his parts on the song as opposed to the one that's on the album with Damien.
Wow, I didn't, I've watched the video a few times now, and I didn't even realize that. That's pretty cool.
Nobody pays attention to bass players.
That's cool.
I'm kidding.
That's for sure.
So it's his parts and his solo, and it's kind of a different. And I think they're going to put it out on just as like a digital single. I think they're going to put it out as a digital single.
That's definitely pretty cool. Now, is it okay to ask what happened to Damien? Like why the switch happened, or was this kind of a personal thing? Or
there was the cement boot, and then no, I'm kidding.
We took care of it Goodfella style. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we're all from the East Coast originally. I can tell you're from the East Coast too, or at least you sound like you are.
Yes, I sure am. New York City boy.
Exactly. So that's why you knew what I meant when I said cement boot.
Not like that at all. We love Damien.
I know.
He's on the face.
I know. So what happened? So Damien had the honor and opportunity to join thrash metal legends Death Angel.
Oh wow! Well, that's cool.
So for quite a while, Damien was still the bass player in Points North. While we were finishing the record, and then while we were shopping the record, and even like while the record came out, and Uriah, we were really lucky because of course he was out. I mean, Death Angel got really, really busy. They were out with Anthrax and Testament and all these bands. They were doing fantastic, so he wasn't around. And so initially, Uriah was our backup, and he was gracious enough to come and make a big investment and learn all our songs and play shows with us when Damien wasn't around, so that we could keep working, because we've always been a working band.
Right.
And when the record came out, there was kind of this mutual evaluation of could he do Death Angel and really support Points North, and it just kind of mutually came down to the fact that it wasn't going to work because they were just too busy, and that's a pretty big gig, and of course he wanted to keep it, and so that's when we made the switch from Damien to Uriah. But it was certainly bittersweet, and he did an amazing job on the record, and we miss him. And as excited as we are moving forward, we have a lot of gratitude, and we're honored to have him in the band.
That's cool, man. I'm glad. It's always cool to hear that kind of thing, because so many bands, break up in such negative ways, and they part in such bad ways. And even though when they say things like it's all amicable, like what happened with Dream Theater a few years back, they said, oh, we love that guy, and then ever since then, it's just been growing animosity. It seems like it's been ridiculous. So it's interesting when you hear that it's an amicable split. That's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't. I don't think that it was really anything any of us wanted, but it wasn't. I mean, there was no other road to take.
Right.
So, and that. I mean, just speaking for myself, that we managed to get Uriah to come join the band. I mean, I had Uriah was Plan A, and there was no Plan B.
Right, gotcha. Well, I think you made a good choice, judging by what I've heard, and I listened to the High Wire video, and I guess it's stupid of me not to notice, but yeah, I listened to it a few times, and I'm like, all right, So speaking of not so great things, you being a very established guitarist in the Bay Area, the Bay Area lost one of its own legends in Ronnie Montrose. Did you have any connection with him, or any experiences, or what are your feelings on that?
Well, we did. I mean, I would say kind of on a couple of levels. I mean, first, if it wasn't for Ronnie Montrose, there wouldn't really be bands like us, because, certainly he got his biggest success when he was doing the more conventional band format, but he was one of the guys who was a trailblazer with the instrumental format, even when that was a really non-commercial left-of-center thing to do. And so so there's a direct lineage between the work he did and bands like us. And then on a more personal level, we did open for him several times, and he was always really gracious and wonderful, and he kicked ass. And I had the honor of being at the celebration that they just did.
You did? That's cool.
At the Regency, and actually at the end of the night, I got to play a Montrose song with Michael Lee Firkins at the end of the night at the after party, and Lacey came up and gave me a hug, and so that was all really, pretty touching. And
what song did you play?
What'd you say?
What song did you play?
You know what? I have to be really honest that I don't know the name of it, and I haven't played it before. I just kind of sat in with Michael. So I probably should know the name of it, and I don't. It's not one of the ones that was more popular, but I just kind of followed along and played, and it was cool.
I do that all the time. It's all right. It's all good.
I should probably get to answer that question in case anyone ever asks me again. So I'll have to email Michael. But it was kind of impromptu because I actually thought I was going to play a different song afterwards, and then he kind of started off the song, and then halfway through he motioned for me from the side of the stage to come on and join him, so I just did.
Oh, cool. Good time.
So it was kind of interesting.
Excellent. So the tour begins when and where?
So this little run, the Road Less Traveled tour, we hope to be, a large part of the next 6 months. But the first leg of it starts on June 15th, and it's San Marcos, San Diego, Los Angeles, Paso, San Luis Obispo, Paso Robles.
Yeah, you got it all.
Hayward,
Fresno.
Out to Fresno, and then we're going to finish up at Vinny's, our home in Concord.
Nice.
June 3rd.
So that's a homecoming gig, huh? That ought to be pretty huge.
Yeah, it should be. It's always a good time over at Vinny's. That's one of the places that's really been a strong support for us. And so whenever we play there, it tends to be a good crowd, good energy, and at least a couple people left standing at the end of the night, but you never can be too sure.
And now, you had told me when we were off air that you have a gig definitely confirmed for mid-July sometime?
Yeah, July 20th at Bottom of the Hill. It'll be a co-headline with a band called Glimpse Trio, and that's a Friday night, I believe. So Friday night, Bottom of the Hill is always a good time.
Awesome. Sounds good. So, and you said you've already been, writing and recording stuff. Are you the type of band that's going to turn around and pump out another disc soon, or are you just going to kind of sit on that and tour and see what happens?
I'd like to say what makes sense right now, because we're kind of promoting an album that just came out.
Right,
exactly. Is that I think we're just in a good position so that when it is time to have that second album, we're going to have hopefully 20, fully written songs to choose from. That's what I'm hoping for. Instead of all of a sudden okay, go write everything now and we'll be under the gun. No, we're actually so clean in the writing process that we'll be cool in a year. And then the other thing too, and I know Rush talks about this too, is I really like songs to be road tested before you go to actually record them, because that's part of how you figure out. You can be in the studio and you can be like, oh yeah, that works, but until you take it out in front of an audience, you really don't know.
It's definitely kind of true, and they've definitely taken that approach with this newest disc, much to the frustration of us fans. But
right. Well, they even did that back in the day. There was plenty of tours where they would sneak in 2 or 3 songs from their next record, to see, kind of how that would work.
Yes.
Back in the day, they would play songs from an upcoming record, when it got to the last leg of the tour.
Yeah, it's always interesting to go back to those old bootlegs and hear the first versions of Limelight and Tom Sawyer and how different they are. Yeah, it's always interesting.
We're going to have plenty of that. There's already versions of our new songs on YouTube.
Well, exactly. So, with
awesome.
Exactly. So,
well, that'll be good. Maybe
we're going to call this one Trainwreck.
That's not
give the real titles anymore. We're just going untitled 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Actually, we should come up. We should really come up with stealth funny titles. For the songs instead of the real titles. So then, when it comes out on the record, people won't know it's that song.
Well, don't most bands do that? I'm in a band right now in the Bay Area called New Sun, and we have a song on a disc that's coming out called Anti-Gravity, which was called Shaman. It was random. And I'm like, where'd you come up with this name? And he's like, I don't know. It's just that's what it sounded like. And I'm like, all right, whatever. You guys, you guitarists and who actually write. I'm the singer, so you guys who actually write the music. You come up with these weird names. I don't know where they come from.
Well, it's all different, you know. Like sometimes somebody will come in and you'll actually have the name for a song, and then sometimes you won't have, especially instrumental, you won't have the name for a song. It'll kind of come to you, or sometimes somebody will say something and you'll be like, that's it. Or, you know, a couple of our songs are either like direct inside joke references or
titled by a fan, one of whom is listening right now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, on Facebook, she's listening. Pam, hi.
Hi.
You've titled one and probably another one of our songs. Thank you.
Nice.
You can win 2 tickets to Friday's show. Just call in.
Yeah, just call in. Yeah, or find me on Facebook. If one of you want to come to me on Facebook, you can do that way too. You know, Chris the Progtologist. Come find me and we'll hook it up.
Oh.
Excellent. So we're gonna end. We're gonna play one more tune from Road Less Traveled. Eric, Uriah, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's a pleasure to have you guys. I wish you guys the best of luck on the tour coming up, on the album. It's a great disc. It's called Road Less Traveled. It's on Magna Carta Records, which is a label that I respect for years. I've been a fan of so many bands on this label. It's ridiculous. So good luck to you guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
Right on. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah.
All right. The song is called I'm sorry. Not we already. The song is called The Phoenix. It's off of Road Less Traveled. It's Points North. Look out for them on May 11th at the Pine Street Bar, presented by Brutal Existence Radio and Full Shred Ahead. And that's going to be at the Pine Street Bar in Livermore, California. I'm giving away tickets. 408-554-5728. Give me a call. The song is called The Phoenix. The fiery phoenix rising above. It's Points North on Progtology 101. I'll be back.